begin with the resolve of the African Development Bank Group and Ethiopia to normalize relations after cutting ties following the assault of the staff of the bank by security agents of the government. Justin Bemunyi reports.
This came as a result of the agreement between the government of Ethiopia with the African Development Bank. The bank received firm commitment from the government to investigate and share the formal report of the investigations into the incident with the bank and to ensure full accountability for all involved. Furthermore, the government committed to fully cooperate with the bank on investigations into the issue of missing funds that were said to have been transferred to the bank. The bank has received formal apologies from the Prime Minister on behalf of the government of Ethiopia, with firm assurances of the security and safety of the bank and its personnel. The African Development Bank is delighted with the resolution and commends the strong leadership and firm commitment shown by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. A serious diplomatic incident in which two international staff of the African Development Bank Group, based in the bank's country office in Ethiopia, were severely assaulted by security agents of the government of Ethiopia, occurred in December 2023. After these, the African Development Bank lodged a formal complaint with the government of Ethiopia over the incident, while a high-level mission dispatched by the bank visited Ethiopia for direct engagement and discussions with senior government officials. Concerns remained about the security, safety and protection of the rights, privileges and diplomatic immunities of the bank's staff and the respect for the host country agreement with the bank. With the latest agreement, all normal relations between the bank and Ethiopia have been restored. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Now, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, who won the last presidential election, has been inaugurated to serve as president of the nation for a second term. The president restated commitment to an entire overhaul of imperatives for the good of all to further enhance livelihoods. Details with Kolo Mohammed.
In the presence of about 18 heads of state and government, the Vice President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, national citizens alongside residents converged on the stadium for the investiture ceremony of the President, Felix Tshisekedi, for a second time in office as President of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Congolese soldiers had a parade at the ceremony of the new president. Felix Tshisekedi was sworn in for a second time of 5 years after sweeping election that the opposition branded a sham while calling for protests.
Moi, Monsieur Tshisekedi Chilombo Félix Antoine.
The December elections analysts say may have come with packets of alleged irregularities, especially delays in the arrival of voting materials at polling units, even though an overall fair process given the chaotic history of exchange of power in the DRC. Mr. Tshisekedi, in his speech, pledged during his second 5-year term further unite citizens and people of the Central African country and protect lives in the conflict-hit eastern region. During the December elections in the DRC, many polling stations were late in opening or did not open at all, while some lacked election materials with voter turnout said to be 40%. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Now, Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Abike Dabiri Erewa is to represent Nigeria at the 14th Global Forum on Migration and Development Summit holding in Geneva, Switzerland from January 23 to 25th. At the summit under the auspices of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States and Alifa Diaspora, the NTAi chairman will deliver a lead paper on culture and narratives on migrations as related to Nigeria. The 3-day summit has its theme culture as a potent tool for reshaping narratives and driving positive change in the perception of population movement due to climate change, cross perspectives and good perspective. The side event will allow countries to share their experiences, best practices, and plan initiatives related to the theme of the Roundtable. Established in 2007, the Global Forum on Migration and Development is a state-led, informal, and non-binding process that helps shape the global debate on migration and development. It will bring together around 100 governments, civil society, the private sector, local authorities, the youth, the UN system, and relevant stakeholders. As tension on the Red Sea heightens, the effect of the crisis is taking its toll on global trade and commerce. This is the concern of international affairs analyst Kolo Mohammed reports.
Analysts say the effect of crisis in the Red Sea will be on a global scale and consequently bring important trade and commerce to its knees. The Red Sea tension is also upsetting the livelihood of native fishermen. The heightened tension, analysts say, is drifting into a crisis that will bring about a long-term catastrophe for energy, fuel, food grains, footwear, garments, and packaged food items.
And you've seen us take action against the Houthis, which we have done as part of an international coalition and after a United Nations Security Council resolution condemning the Houthis for their attacks on commercial shipping.
The Asian automobile industry is running short in turnover, and especially the United States and Europe. An attack by the Houthis on a Greek ship traveling in the Red Sea was caught on camera. The tension in the Red Sea is growing into a regional one, with Iran conducting military exercise. The Red Sea remains one of the most important global maritime trade routes. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
And Kolo Mohammed reports that a huge fire broke out early Sunday at a natural gas terminal in the Russian Baltic seaport, a terminal 110 kilometers west of St. Petersburg, near the Estonian border, is operated by Russia's largest independent natural gas producer.
There have been no casualties as a result of the fire at the Novatex terminal in the port of Luga, and personnel were evacuated to safety. Alexander Drozdenko, governor of Leningrad Oblast region, posted on Telegram along with a video showing massive fire and smoke at the chemical complex. He said a high alarm regime has been introduced in the district, which includes the port of Luga. The Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations and Local Fire Service were involved in fighting the blast. A local official, Yuri Zapolaski, said the fire started just before 2:45 a.m. local time. Reports say the cause of the fire had not been made known. Russia's defense ministry announced Sunday that Ukraine's overnight attacks had been foiled, but made no mention of any incidents in the Leningrad region. The Luga complex processes natural gas condensate into naphtha, jet fuel, and ship fuel components, according to Novatex website. The Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline leading from the town of Luga to Germany had not commenced operation after a sabotage raid in September 2022. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
And the federal government, through the Ministry of Solid Minerals, is waiting for the outcome of the forensic investigation ordered to ascertain the actual cause of the tragic explosion that rocked Ibadan, Oyo State capital, last week. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu it would be recorded that he placed a telephone call to Oyo State Governor immediately after the tragic incident in the presence of the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, to commiserate with Governor Seyi Makinde, victims, and the people of Oyo State. Thereafter, the ministry deployed inspectorate officers to the scene of the explosion to join other security agencies to unravel the cause of the explosion. The federal government is now waiting for the outcome of the forensic investigations that will determine the real cause of the blast, the explosive types that triggered it, and the circumstances leading to the unfortunate incident that led to loss of lives and properties. During the Federal Executive Council meeting, President Bola Tinubu took a step to holistically address insecurity around the nation's natural resources by consulting an interministerial committee led by Alake to come up with a blueprint to effectively and efficiently secure solid minerals, forest and marine economy, which constitutes Nigerians' natural resources. Scientists in Tanzania have created the first transgenic mosquito strain in Africa. This genetically modified strain is aimed at preventing the malaria transmission.
Tanzania has long been committed to combating malaria, but researchers at Taifa Kara Health Institute are taking the fight to a whole new level. They are targeting the source of the problem itself, the mosquitoes.
So we basically modify mosquitoes, making them refractory to malaria infection, and these properties are passed on in what we call a super Mendelian fashion, and with time we basically have a population of mosquitoes that are unable to transmit malaria.
In 2021, there were 619,000 worldwide deaths from malaria. Most of them were children under the age of 5 in sub-Saharan Africa. Scientists here say this is just the beginning of a new era where humans and mosquitoes can coexist without fear. This program is the first of its kind in Africa. Unlike other efforts to suppress mosquito reproduction altogether, researchers here are experimenting with blocking parasites in mosquitoes instead. That way, the mosquitoes themselves survive. This new mosquito strain is currently housed in dedicated biosafety level facilities at the research center. The research has been made possible by other innovative solutions, feeding mosquitoes a blood-free diet.
Our research aims to provide the scientists or the people working at the insectary, laboratory insectary for mosquitoes, with an alternative solution of vertebrate blood, whereby we are testing this artificial blood-free diet to which mimics the blood, to rear the mosquito that can be reared without using the blood.
Despite the buzz surrounding this research, scientists here are aware there will still be challenges.
There's so many perceptions from people regarding this type of technology. As we've modified the mosquitoes, people might think, that they'll make them infertile. And so those are things that we really need to dig into now at the initial stages of this project to get the perception of this technology.
The transgenic mosquito project could not only save countless lives, but it could also serve as a blueprint for countries around the world battling against this deadly disease. And it will help to achieve the World Health Organization goal of zero malaria transmission by 2030. So each mosquito being modified here can help usher in a new strain that will give Tanzania and the rest of the world a healthier future.
And for food production, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria released 23 varieties of seeds for planting in Nigeria. This is coming as the federal government gives priority to research and innovation in the country's food production system. Details with Musa Baba Aliyu.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has advised countries to invest more in agricultural innovation towards attaining food security. It is in line with this that Nigerian government appropriated 362.9 billion naira for agriculture this year. Minister of Finance and that of Budget and Planning have recently said more windows for intervention will be opened for the ministry towards attaining food self-sufficiency.
And that leads to reduction of poverty, creation of jobs, and a much more stable economy.
I think when we have people that are gainfully employed and their livelihoods are enhanced, then the rule of law will come into play, insecurity will fade out, and corruption, so food security, economic growth, job creation, access to capital, because this is what we've been talking about.
And the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria says it's enjoying support from the Ministry of Agriculture in carrying out its duties. The executive secretary of the agency, Professor Garba Hamidu Sharubutu, said improved seed varieties that are resistant to pests and diseases as well as drought were developed.
The federal government approved the recruitment of 1,650 scientists to boost the staff strength in the area of research. Particularly the instruction is for us to recruit breeders, to recruit those that are going to bring about the genetic improvement of our local crops.
Professor Sharubutu therefore encourages farmers to adopt new innovations and modern technology in their farming activities for their socio-economic well-being and that of the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The federal government is reviewing the national livestock policy to address challenges confronting the sector. This came to the fore when the Minister of Agriculture challenged cattle breeders to give priority to animal health. Musa Baba Ali reports.
Livestock resources play an important role in food and nutrition security in Nigeria. The sector is worth 30 trillion naira along its value chain. However, environmental factors such as drought and insecurity are threatening the development of the sector. It is in this regard that key players in the agricultural sector advised government at all levels to review the current national animal health policy and livestock development.
Has partnered with the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to start to build the capacity of people we call the community animal husbandry service providers. To date, we've trained about 40 of them across a number of states in Nigeria: Kano, Jigawa, Adamawa, and we're moving that to also Plateau, Bauchi, and a few other states. And the goal is really to provide animal husbandry services to livestock farmers.
To address this, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, outlined some of the measures being taken by the government towards improving the livestock subsector.
I'm therefore optimistic that this forum will strengthen the existing partnership and further encourage knowledge sharing as well as innovative research among the stakeholders in order to address the challenges facing the livestock health subsector in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, as a nation, we understood the need for investment in cutting-edge research and innovation that will enable us to identify the traits of emerging and re-emerging diseases and develop an effective response mechanism for prevention and control of these threats. We also encourage partnerships among all stakeholders and the promotion of a culture of continuous learning and adaptation to new technologies and innovations that will advance animal health and livestock productivity in Nigeria in line with the global best practices.
The 2022 survey indicates that Nigeria's livestock population is put at more than 22 million. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Away from that, Commissioner of Police FCT Haruna Garba has pledged to sustain the existing robust security arrangements in the territory. This followed the rescue of the kidnapped victims at the Zuma 1 area in the Buhari Area Council on the 2nd of January 2024. The success story, according to the police statement, is hinged on the relentless advancement of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command Anti-Kidnapping Squad in a concerted effort with troops of the Nigerian Army. And the victims, who have been reunited with their families, were successfully rescued by the operatives around the Kajuri Forest in Kaduna State Saturday night. FCT Police Command expresses appreciation to the Inspector General of the Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, for the deployment of the newly commissioned Special Intervention Squad, which has given an uplift to the existing security architecture of the territory and as well as brewed public confidence. Our Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, has urged commissioners of the 36 states in the country to domesticate the National Science, Technology and Innovation Roadmap 2017 to 2030. The minister said that the roadmap has the potential to unlock the nation's intellectual and technological resources for the growth and diversification of the economy. This was in Abuja at an interactive forum with state commissioners in charge of science and technology. He noted that the enormous potential of the national roadmap, in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, is only realizable when effectively implemented at the sub-national levels. The minister encouraged states to align their technological advancement with local priorities to provide solutions for region-specific challenges and promote a more robust and resilient scientific ecosystem that fosters collaboration and knowledge.
States are encouraged to align their technological advancement with local priorities, providing solutions for regional specific challenges and promoting a more robust and resilient scientific ecosystem that fosters collaboration and knowledge sharing. This alignment will ensure inclusivity, unlock the immense potential of our nation's intellectual and technological resources, and propel our states to the forefront of technological advancement.
Advancement of technology, science and technology, especially in my state, Abia State, charity begins at home and Nigeria at large. So in my state, most of the things we are looking at is to create a technological park, a science and technological park and science incubation centers with ideas and harnessing the opportunities in Abia State to showcase Abia State as the first state when it has to do with science and technology in Nigeria.
The commissioners that they are the primary stakeholders in National Council of Science, Technology and Innovation, also known as the National NTAi Council. The minister used the opportunity to announce its first meeting, which he said would take place at the beginning of the next quarter. Away from that, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NTAi, have intercepted large consignments of cocaine, Colorado, and cannabis concealed in containers with other household items and vehicles imported from Durban, South Africa, and Canada. Details with Ilyasu Yakub.
The illicit goods were intercepted at the Tinkan seaport in Lagos following coordinated intelligence operations by 3 special units of NDLEA. The illicit drugs, along with arms and ammunition, were seized during a joint examination of the 3 containers by the agency's officers and their counterparts from the Customs Service and other security agencies. Some of the agency's sniper dogs were also deployed to help identify locations and bags used in concealing the illicit items. Some of the items recovered from the containers include over 1,000 parcels of cocaine and Colorado with a total weight of over 850 kilograms. In the same vein, NDLEA operatives also arrested one Okosum Paul Punit in a related crime and several other suspected criminals at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, as well as Kano and Abia State. NDLEA reaffirmed its commitment to the war against drug abuse, which is an advocacy campaign of the agency to curtail the use of illicit drugs and other illegal substances. The agency is therefore calling on the general public to support its efforts towards achieving this objective. Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
Let's join Oche Ngbede for sports update.
We begin with football as Nigerians under-20 women's national team, the Falconet, have secured their spot in the 2024 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup scheduled to hold in Colombia after defeating Burundi 1-0 in the final round match at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium on Saturday. The goal by Opeyemi Ajakaye was what Nigeria needed to bring down hard-fighting Burundi to complete a 2-0 aggregate. The championship is expected to hold from August. The outclassed 20-seed Andre Manarino to reach the quarterfinals of the Australian Open. The Serbian ran rings around the French opponent on Rod Lava Arena, winning 6-love, 6-love and 6-3, underlining his status as a favorite to lift an 11th title at Melbourne Park.
My passion and love, but it's also my work and my profession, so of course along with my coach and team I have to do things on a daily basis to make myself prepared for every opponent.
The world number one is into the last 8 of a Grand Slam title for a record 58 times, equaling Roger Federer's men's record as he maintained an iron grip on the game.
Expecting Nigeria and other cities of the world is next. That's the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Comfort Amodu.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International.